7:17.
Okay. 7:17. All right, and then again, as usual, I'm gonna step out so I can eat dinner and all that stuff.
Oh.
Um, because I've been basically working since this morning, so just call myself, please, if you need me. But you shouldn't.
Oh, okay, I have my cell in front of me.
All right.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right, very good. Okay, so we will begin. It is 7:17 and this is the Education, Culture and Youth Services Committee meeting. And I welcome everybody here. We do have a quorum since which is good. I did send to the committee members as much information as I could possibly do so that you didn't have to go searching for things. So one of the first things that we really do have to do ahead of time, uh, because we did not do it last month, is to review the March, April, and September meeting minutes. So I just would like to know if everybody has had the time to read over, if there's any questions. So just let me know if you guys have any questions with the meetings. Did you guys get a chance to read them over, quickly? Malcolm? Yep, okay. All right, so I just want to know if there's any questions on the minutes, anything that might have been left out.
No.
No? No? Okay, so can I get from the committee members that we approve the March, the April, and the September minutes? Do I get a yes?
Yes, second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, great. So then we have those 3 months of the minutes approved, and draft will be taken off of that and uploaded as approved minutes. Okay, we had a bit of a change in the agenda. I had two guest speakers, but the second one had decided that she would like to speak in November because she has a PowerPoint that she would like to share. So I felt that that would be better for her not to have any kind of cramped time with two speakers. In hindsight, I probably should have had both of them because she probably would have been on right now. So the other person that is going to speak is Ms. Shaking Alston. She's a director of education with the Huntington Learning Center, which is right here on Williamsburg Road. They have been there for quite a while, and I really do hope that um, she can be present because I think a lot of people don't realize what's right in our own front yard. So um, I am hoping I do hear from her, whether it be by phone. I sent her my cell number, so we'll see. Uh, so we will wait for her to jump in. But the other thing that I do want to bring up, and I did check with Jeremy, we have no submissions for our Yankee Leadership Award. And what I'm going to do starting tomorrow is that I'm going to be making my phone calls and sending them out to all of the people that, like Joe Thompson of the 49 Precinct Council, explorers, to the community affairs officers, etc. Um, Anybody, we need to let them know that if you're gathering information, the deadline is 10/28. So that's like right around the corner.
Yeah, Bernadette, we discussed it already at the precinct council and we will be submitting one.
Oh,
Just have to get around to
fantastic.
doing it.
Fantastic. I had a few people that said they wanted to submit also. And then with so many other things that everybody was participating in community wise, Thursday morning, this morning, I was like, wait a minute. I've gotten no feedback from the 2 or 3 people, so I'm going to follow up with them. That will be hopefully submitting through the Van Ness Neighborhood Alliance. So, and I have a lot of people that just writing down just so I don't forget the people that I do have to call and follow up on. So Malcolm, if you have anybody You know, the criteria for the Yankee Leadership Award. It's something that, you know, if there's any questions, you could always direct them to me if there's any questions, or to Phyllis or anybody. Because the criteria is listed right there. It has to go through a community organization. It could be Venice Neighborhood Alliance. It could be Morris Park Community Association. It could be Bronx Park East. It could be the Explorers. But the president of that association, of that alliance or whatever, has to sign off on it. And then it could all be done by email, and then it could be submitted to the community board. Hopefully, even by midnight of 10/28, which I've done in the past. So we have to get out and promote that. I know that we got the Columbus Day Parade happening on Sunday. So this is sort of like falling through the cracks, even though I spoke to people back in May and in June, and I think probably in April. But obviously there has to be follow-up. So please.
Were there specific groups that normally submits their nominees?
Yes. Any high school. I mean, any high school, charter school, high school, that is within Community Board 11. You could speak to the principal, and they could let the teachers know of the specific grades that are age appropriate, from 14 to 20. And let them know about this wonderful award that's, plant seeds of leadership. And the principals can take it from there and tell the teachers can talk to the groups or whatever. But the 49 Precinct Council, Morris Park Community Association, Venice Neighborhood Alliance, Bronx Park East, Community Affairs, well, that's with the 49 Precinct. Also, like the New York Public Library, which Dawn Holloway is the Morris Park library director. So I will reach out to her by phone tomorrow and just remind her. They can submit a nominee through any one of the community associations. So it doesn't have to be within their neighborhood area. Any community association within Community Board 11 can actually sign off. So I'm the president of the Venice Neighborhood Alliance. I could sign off. Al from Morris Park Community Association, and so on and so forth. So I think we are allowed, each association is allowed 2 submissions. So if one association had, already have their 2 submissions, you could make a phone call to somebody else. But as I just checked, this week, there have been no submissions, which is not a good thing. So we really do want to get our submissions in there. So, okay, so we were just Chun, is that how you? Okay, are you muted? Yeah, unmute yourself.
Hi.
Okay, hi.
How are you?
Good. So nice to see you. But as we were talking about the Yankee Leadership Award, we're waiting for our guest speaker. I don't know if she's having difficulty getting on. I sent emails. I never got her cell number. Unfortunately, she didn't put it in when she filled out the form, so I don't have it. So that was my mistake of not pushing to get that. But we were talking about the Yankee Leadership Awards, which the deadline is October 28th, coming up right around the corner, and we do not have any submissions. So
What's the age grade?
it's between 14 and 20.
Okay.
14 being the youngest, 20 being the oldest. So that would basically hit high schools.
It's a college age too, right? 18 is.
Yeah, but yes.
Okay.
But they have to live in the criteria is on the application. Do you have the application?
No, I actually never received the application.
Ah, that's because I was trying to get your email,
Ah,
and I think I got it last time, and I did not send it to you.
That's okay.
So if you could, can you just put it in the chat?
no problem. I will do that now.
And I'll copy and paste it. Um,
Okay.
so it's between the ages of 14 and 20. The award, the money amount of the award is $750.
Mhm.
There are 5, and the amount of nominations could be as many as I'm just going to copy and paste this. Okay.
Sorry,
the-
my
that's
baby.
okay.
Say hi.
Hi,
Hi.
how are you? You're speaking baby. That's okay. We all understand.
All right.
Um, so when your child becomes of age,
Oh yeah, you definitely apply. Don't worry.
Yeah. so, and it's wonderful. It just plants seeds of leadership.
Yeah.
People do not have to live within Community Board 11, but if they go to school
Mhm.
within Community Board 11 and their volunteer work is within the borders of Community Board 11, that's also acceptable.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
The members of the Education Committee go through all the submissions, and we do choose the 5 nominees.
So you said that live in the community board, it's okay, but doesn't have to be go to school in here.
No, if they have to do their volunteer work, they
Okay.
have to do their volunteer work, and it gives the different criteria for volunteer work,
Okay.
and it's on the application form.
Okay, I'll take a look.
I thought I had sent it out, or asked Jeremy to send it out to all the board members. So anyway, you
me
might
double
have
check.
just been new. You might have just been new with it, and it might
Mm-hmm.
not have gotten to you. But I will send it to you directly after this meeting.
No problem. Thank you.
And
And then
any questions, feel free. I'll
Mm-hmm.
give you my cell phone number. You can text me any questions or call me.
yes. Let me see. I think I can like print it out and give it to my neighbors because
Yes,
yeah. Because
and
I
be able to answer the questions. Just let them know what the criteria is, so
Mhm.
that they don't waste their time.
Yeah. No
So.
problem. And then have we like reached it out to like the library and like drop off the application on the library and then so have
Yes.
them to okay.
Yes. Actually, that's why, like the Morris Park Library with Dawn Holloway, I know her very well, and she had said that she wanted to know specifically because she had a few people that she really felt that, that she wanted to have as a nominee. And it just dawned on me, and she said that, and she was at the full board meeting also.
Yes, she was speaking about
So-
that. Yes.
And I was like, okay, that next day I sent her everything, and I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't follow up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just want to make sure people understand the deadline is October 28th.
Okay.
And that could be like by a minute before midnight. Okay.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
it could get sent all done by email and stuff. But it does have to be sent to a head of an organization to sign off.
Like send it to
Van Ness Neighborhood. I'm the president of Van Ness Neighborhood Alliance. You could send it to me by email. I could sign it. I could date it. I could then rescan it and then send everything off to Community Board 11.
okay.
Or the Al D'Angelo at the Morris Park Community Association, the 49 Precinct Council with Joe Thompson as president. So any civic association or that is within Community Board 11 can sign off. The president of that organization. So
Gotcha.
you just got to give them time to either go there in person, have it signed, and then scan and send everything in by email.
Okay, no problem. Because I have
Yes.
like a couple of neighbors down here that it's in high school over there. I think that he's a teacher too, but I think he teaches in South Bronx. So yeah, maybe it's different. Yeah.
Yeah. So if the child goes to the school, he might teach there, but if the child goes to school within Community Board 11, So it's all about the borders, whether you live in Community Board 11, but your volunteer work's got to be within Community Board 11.
Yep.
And if I'm wrong with that, somebody's call me out, but I think I'm correct.
Yeah, and also that like we always need a volunteer for the gardens, the Moss Park Garden, community
Oh, the
garden.
community gardens,
Yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. It's gotta get out there a little bit more. I mean, I put it up on social media. I try to, get it out there so people understand this is, $750 that has no strings attached to it. It does not have to be used for books. It doesn't have to be used for tuition. It
Yeah.
just is a reward for a young leader
Yeah.
working within the
Yeah.
community board. And this is all from the Yankees.
Yep.
So-
Yep. Yep.
So
Mhm.
I'm hoping that that we can really get, more than 5 or 6 or 7 submissions. So,
Yep. Okay, no problem. So I will reach out and see if anybody interested. Yep. And
Okay.
definitely let my teacher neighbor know. 'Cause he may know more. Yeah.
yeah, and also if you know any of the PTAs in the schools,
Yes. Yeah.
unfortunately, a lot of the PTA people that I know are for schools that are 5-year and under. So it's you have to get to, the principal. Like that's another thing. Last month we had Carol Ann Gilligan as the president of Van Nest Academy.
Yes. I
And-
really like her speak. She's great. Yeah.
Yeah, she was wonderful, and she would probably have some 14-year-olds within
Yes.
the school.
Yep. Yep.
So I have to, follow up with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, let me just bear with me. I haven't gotten any calls or anything. So I'm hoping that the delay isn't with trying to hook up with WebEx. So just bear with me. So I'm going to see if she sent me an email.
It's kind of strange that I don't know if I'm seeing it wrong or what, but I keep seeing that this meeting start at 7:30.
Yes, there was an update.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes, there was an update on the calendar, which I sent out. I put on Community Board 11. I put on a lot of other social media. Originally, everything was going to be in person.
Right.
And
Right.
then last weekend, the board members basically found out that the chairs of the committees can choose. They
Okay.
can choose for it to be virtual, they could choose for it to be in person. So that's why I said, well, if that's the case, then let's start at our regular time, which is 7 o'clock, because if it
Gotcha.
was in person, the housing would have been there
Mm,
at 6:30 and then we would have started at 7:30.
gotcha. I see.
Yeah, so I just said, you know what, just to not, and this month was a bit crazy with everybody having to switch their meetings because of holidays.
Yep.
So things were switched all over. We never have our meetings on Thursday, but Wednesday was still the eve of Yom Kippur. So
Yep.
so it's just out of reverence. So okay, so I don't know what's going on here, and we also had a change in agenda because we had 2 speakers that wanted to speak tonight, and one of the
Okay.
other speakers, because she has a PowerPoint presentation she wanted to present, requested to do it in November. So,
Okay.
and that is her name is Ingrid Renderos, or I think that's her name. And she is the director at CUNY in the Heights. And she has a scholarship program that's going on, which I will send out to everybody, and you could post on your social media.
Yes.
And it sounds excellent. She had, so she just felt that she would probably need more time. And I hate to rush speakers.
Right.
So, but if I had kept both of them, she probably would have been here tonight. So what can I say? I don't have a crystal ball that actually works. So, anyway, tonight's speaker was for the Huntington Learning Center, which is right here in our own front yard. So, if she does not come on, that I will have to maybe have her be also part of next month's also.
So Bernadette, I actually click on the calendar in here, and the form, the youth leadership award, it's attached in there. So you don't have to send it to me. I got it.
Oh, okay, so you have it. Okay,
So
great.
I have it. I can print this out. I am gonna.
It's a front and back.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's 2
Yes.
pages. Yep. So I will print it out and give it to my neighbor later. Yep. I think my
Okay.
daughter is in high school. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that it's such a wonderful thing. It really is. And you know, it's all about
Mhm.
just planting some really good seeds of leadership.
Mhm.
And for especially for young kids to come out of themselves to serve others.
Mhm.
And whether it be in their school, they could be serving in their school, they could be raising money for substance abuse, they
Mhm.
could be raising money for um, um, any kind of relief for any kind of hurricane victims. For there's so many things, and different schools plan. You know, so that's important. The school is the central point. So,
Yeah.
uh,
He's very talkative.
that's especially when he sees mommy talking.
Yes.
I miss those days.
I know. That's
have
what
a son.
everybody told me that. They're like they miss those days that when they're young, they're like baby.
And they're so much fun, and they're so easy until they become mobile.
Yeah.
Once they become mobile, it's like, ah. So yes, but it's a wonderful but it's like, oh my God, I don't have to worry about losing weight
Yeah.
because you are running, baby proofing the house and running around. It's just like when you have, you know, young animals too. You gotta be on top of there.
Yes.
But
Yep. Mhm.
and if anybody ever had puppies or kittens, you basically are given experience when
Yes.
you have children.
Yes, I have a dog here myself too. Yeah. Mhm.
So, so anyway, I have a feeling we're not going to have our guest speaker. It's
Okay.
right now it's 7:39. I have not gotten an email. I do not have a text message. I have to assume that there's something happened. So I will ask the committee members first. Is there anything that you do want to speak about?
Just reminds everybody about the parade on Sunday. Hope everybody joins us. It's going to be a great day.
What time is the parade?
We start marching at 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. Okay. Yeah. Matthew told me that it's 10 o'clock. I'm like, that's really early.
The lineup starts at 11 and we start marching at 12.
Okay. Sounds good. Yep. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Hmm.
Yeah,
See
it's
you
gonna be
there.
great.
Yes. See you there. Mhm.
Bring all your family and bring all your friends.
Yes.
Let
Yes.
them know. And I think the information is on about it. You just say, look, the Columbus Day Parade is actually the second largest parade
Yep. Yep.
in New York State.
Yes.
Or is it New York State? Yeah, New York State, I think, not just New York City.
Hmm.
So, but and it's been around since what, 1977?
Oh wow. Hmm.
This is our 45th year.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
so,
Hmm.
Yeah.
so yes, and it's been different every single year that I could remember. And it's always a lot of fun. So that's important. What about you, Malcolm? Do you have anything that you want to?
Currently, no, not at all.
Okay, you're so quiet.
I'm just listening.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so I'm going through our yes, I totally agree. Our agenda here. So I'm gonna open it up to the public. So Diana Finch, you are the public.
So I have 4 quick questions for the Yankee Award. It's the Yankees who review and decide who gets the award, or is it the community board?
Well, no, the process is they give us the money. So each community board gets a certain amount of money so that 5 nominees are chosen and they get $750 each. Okay. So, and the award is given
So it's
to
not
them.
competitive, it's the applicants.
It's what? I'm sorry?
It's not competitive amongst the applicants?
No, it is competitive. There was one year we had about 13 submissions.
Okay,
Okay, all of those submissions have to be signed by a civic association president or head chair or whatever, and then submitted through that association to the community board. It could be up to like midnight of October 28th, whatever the deadline is. You know, sometimes getting all of the stuff done, ready and you know, made into a PDF, et cetera, to be submitted, or you can hand deliver it. Okay, always keep the originals and hand deliver. Okay, at the board office. And then as soon as they get to the board office, they're stamped with a timestamp so that it's fair across the board. All of the education, education, culture, and youth services committee members choose, go through all of the submissions and choose. Okay.
But I have to say, I just want to add, Bernadette, I'm sorry. If we nominate, like
Yes,
last
thank
year,
you.
Bernadette and I recused ourselves from the vote because we had two students that we had nominated.
Yes, we had two submissions,
Mhm.
two submissions each. So we cannot vote on those because that, you know,
right,
that's you know, being that's not being
Right.
biased. So I mean, that makes
Okay.
sense. So the other members of the education committee will read through, they will go into private session.
Mhm.
Okay. And go through that. Like I said, Phyllis and myself were not part of that because we had nominees. And then they will come back and say, yes, they have chosen the 5 out of everything. And then, you know, there's a list of criteria that could be given to new members of that, what to look for, etc. That could be discussed. But then the choosing goes into private.
right, okay.
Yeah, so
And then my other 3 topics are, I wonder, I don't know if these are really the purview of the committee, but we still have the teacher parking problem. Not enough
is that
space
a
for teachers to
96?
park. Yeah, and I just don't know quite what the, you know, what we should
Process?
be asking, who we should be contacting about it all.
I would
DOT
think
or
DOT, yeah,
What, the
Right.
DOT?
yeah. Because
Yeah.
we had the walkthrough with them by Icon Charter School. And they now have,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so I think DOT would
Okay,
be the
good.
ones to make it teacher parking.
Okay,
That is so
Um,
terrible with everything that they have to deal with. I mean, teaching itself is a tough job. And then to have the
Yeah.
extra stress about where to park.
right, and some of the teachers from PS 96 apparently quit because
Yes,
it was so
yeah.
stressful.
How many?
Like
How
4
many?
maybe, I think. I don't know exactly. Okay, so Tiz, you're gonna be good on all of these questions. We heard that the Police Athletic League is gonna be like revived, like invigorated.
really?
And yeah, and we just want to keep on top of that and like understand how it works. And I've never done anything with the Police Athletic League before, so I don't really know exactly how it works or how you get a program in your neighborhood.
Well, we need a
Launch?
place for them to meet
Yeah,
and do
Yeah,
things.
we did
So
this,
that-
we did it in Van Est. So
And does it have to be indoors or could it be an outdoor thing too?
Probably a combination of the two.
Right.
Okay.
Unless, I mean, I don't know if there are new rules with the Police Athletic League. Just a past experience, before PS 481 was there with St. Dominic's. When we had St. Dominic's School there, we got the Police Athletic League. It's all run by the 49th Precinct, which is
Right.
wonderful because it just relieves stress of any kind of speed bumps with, you know, people, you know, any kind of fights or anything like that. It really, it doesn't happen. We had 2 nights. We had a Tuesday and a Thursday night that was worked out, has to be worked out with the principal of the
Right.
school. And, each night, and this went on for, it was during it started late, so it was through the winter months. So it was important to have the indoor courts.
Right.
And they had the basketball, which was the main feature, but when
Right.
when they came in, they also had off to the side other tables with different resources of information.
And do you know
each
if
night
then they can like, if they had a basketball program at an elementary school, could it be for older kids? Or would it have
what they did there is they had it was 2.5 hours. So the
Uh-huh.
first hour they had for the younger, and then after that they had for the older.
Oh, okay.
They switched it off, and we
Right.
had over
Okay.
100 people, teenagers signed up each night.
Wow.
Over 100. It was
Right.
Yeah.
so
I know
successful.
my school, our basketball team is a parish team. It's not a school team. So as
Right.
long as you live within the parish, you can try out for the team. Of course, that's a tryout based team because at CYO, we're only allowed to take 15 players.
Mm.
But
Right.
something like that on a bigger scale would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
I'm gonna talk to James Graham.
Right. Okay.
Sure.
And then the last question
Well, we had
is,
somebody that wanted to add to that, Diana.
Oh, I just want, sorry, maybe I'm not sure what is this. Do you mind explaining to me what is the police academy?
It's
Athletic
athletic
league.
league.
Athletic league, yes.
it's just an organized sports program that's run by the police department.
There you
Mhm.
go.
Gotcha. I
But
see.
you guys know more about it than I do, because
It's been around for a very long
Yeah.
time. It's just been
Mhm.
on and off.
Mm-hmm.
The pandemic threw a lot of that out the window. And for example, when PS 41 is a public school that came in the location of the old St. Dominic's. The new principal, once she gave us a go-ahead, and then when, at that time, our NCO went there to talk about it, the feedback I got is that she shut him down.
Oh, why?
Yes, I tried to find out
It's
the
a lot of
reasons.
responsibility for schools to take on. If there's any damage, then the kids that are attending that school can't use the gym, until damage is repaired. So, there's a lot to think about there.
Mm-hmm.
But you
I
have,
know.
but having the
it's
police be
free
a
for the
part of it.
kids, right?
Yeah, what?
It's free, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no fee.
Yeah,
right.
it's
And
it's no
The
no
NYPD
adults.
actually are
Runs it.
there physically for during the, yeah,
Making sure that nobody comes in with guns.
right.
Making sure that there's no gang member, anything that can really cause, discord. So, and any kind of issues, because you have young children and older children.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Diana, do you know that on the 15th, they're having a health and fitness expo?
Yeah, I saw that. I have so much
Yeah.
stuff to do on the 15th, but yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And then the last question was the poor Little League. We have a Little League field in Bronx Park East.
Mhm.
Tiz, again, you know about this. And apparently the Little League got really kind of decimated because they were on hiatus for the pandemic, and then they were operating this season, but apparently not all the teams came back, and so they didn't have like a full schedule, and half their games are away games. So
Really?
yeah, so there were very
Yeah, that's with any league.
games,
Yeah.
and it just like we don't really know how to revive it, and they have this whole beautiful field set aside, locked just for them.
Mhm.
Well,
But that's another thing that we wanted to work on for next spring, was to try to get the Little League
okay, my question,
reinvigorated.
revived.
Yeah. And
Um,
I don't really know how to do it. And a lot of the parents who did know and were involved, their kids have aged out now.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to get to the coaches of each league. There's the
Yeah.
Van Ness League. I don't know which ones are still active. I mean,
Well,
I
the
think
ours is
Botnet is
still
still on it, yeah.
active, but they just had very few games this season, apparently.
Well-
So few that nobody ever saw them.
I didn't see any, and they
But then I
usually
think
have the
like
parade
Pelham
in
Bay
April.
is active, pretty active. I think
The island as
Neck of
well.
Pelham Bay.
Astor is active, Bronx Chester is still active, Van Nest is still active.
So where the information of the coaches of all of these leagues, is there a roster somewhere?
It should be on each individual league's website.
So,
Okay.
you know,
I coached at Astor and I coached at
Uh-huh.
Bronx Chester.
you know,
So
I
yeah,
have, I had my
I know
son
for
at
those,
Van
it's
Ness.
on their websites.
Right. Okay.
So actually, any one of those coaches would probably have all of the roster names on
Right.
a list. So any one of those of
Okay.
you know, the head coaches or whatever would be able to give you information. Send out an email to all of them, you
Yeah.
know, and that's something that and see what kind of feedback you get.
Right.
Yeah, and then you have to hit the schools.
Oh.
You have
Is
to
the
get
team-
kids to actually participate. I'm sorry, Malcolm, go ahead.
I'm sorry, no, it's fine. Is the team called the Pelham Parkway Little League, or is it the Bronx Park East Little League?
Ah, that's a good question. I think it might be called the Pelham Parkway Little League.
Yeah, I think that is the name of it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, because I see them. They made a post in September, but that was the last time they made a post.
Okay. I
Is that
have
like on
not even-
Facebook somewhere?
Yeah, on Facebook.
Okay.
Usually they have their opening parades in the first week of April. And I don't think they had it this year. Am I
Yeah.
correct?
Nobody had it. I don't even think
Okay.
Throgs Neck had a parade this year.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Chan, do you remember?
No, but they are going to have a Halloween parade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mike Benedetto is sponsoring one at the field there. Yes.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. So, well, you know, you know, if are you going to reach out since you had that question, Diana? Are you going to reach out and
Yeah,
Try
I'm
to
gonna
get a
try to
roster?
find the Pelham Parkway Little League.
to see if there's just a roster?
I'll be willing to help you out on that one. too.
Okay, thank you, Malcolm.
You're welcome.
Fantastic.
And I just
Thank
wanted to
you.
say, it's so much nicer to be talking with you guys about kids' sports
Oh, God.
than it is to be talking about Just Home.
And
For
all
Agree,
of
another-
it.
Diana.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes. Yes. I know. Our children and our
Yeah.
future and their education. Yes. Yes. That's
Kids playing sports.
oh, God. That's like the best thing. You know, I was a jock since I was in grammar school. I actually won the gold medal on high jump in 8th grade. Who has high jump?
I mean, it
The old
relaxes
fish.
me and makes me feel good just to talk about it.
Yeah.
I used to run track.
There you go. So
Long
what
jump.
did you, what, the long jump? Oh, I
Yeah.
actually tried that one time. It wasn't for me. I didn't, my muscles didn't push that far. But I did
Diana?
try.
Would you know if that field is called Rice Field?
I think so. Reese.
Okay.
I think we say
Reese, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
Malcolm, I
mean the
found their
track?
Facebook page and there's an email associated with the Facebook page.
Okay.
Okay.
Go look for
Okay.
it.
All right. So we need, I guess if everybody finds out a little bit about whatever leagues is, you know, they have to say on their website if they're active or not.
I just dropped the email about the Pelham Bay Parkway Little League email
Oh,
address.
fantastic. Thank
Yep.
you.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Well, that's pretty
Uh,
straightforward email. Okay.
So yeah, that would be great if all of us could do a little bit to try to get our leagues back.
Mhm.
Like-
I'm sure there's still a lot of families that are feeling a bit apprehensive.
Yeah,
about-
I think so. Yeah.
But still, if there are
But
10
like even
leagues
the
and 2 or
Parks
3.
Department, they had given them a permit for this season, for the spring and summer, but then they weren't even sure that the permit had been used.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did use it, but
I don't know if
Some-
Parks would follow up on that.
Hmm?
I don't think parks would follow up if the permit.
Yeah, they were trying, well, they have a thing, if you ask for a permit and then don't use it, that's not good.
For
And they
next year.
do follow up.
Okay.
Yeah, because wasn't somebody asked to leave the park when they tried practicing without the permit?
I'm not
I don't-
sure.
But
No.
I
that
know that
gentleman,
Parks follows up to make sure
Yeah.
that the permits they've given are used.
Yeah,
The
They're
gentleman
very
that ran
competitive
the
for the
basketball-
permits too.
the gentleman that ran the basketball clinic in Bronx Park East in the Waring Playground, he might be someone to get in touch with, see if he's willing to coach anything else.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a professional coach and he works at a gym in somewhere in Westchester. But yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And you know, if as far as for PAL for indoor, like in Van Ness, there are two places that it's been on my list to check out if we can't
Mhm.
get PS 481, and I'm tired. I think a lot of us are tired trying to battle through that. But we have the Seventh-day Adventist has the gym there, and also I think St. Martha's. But I haven't been physically there at St. Martha's, but I
Right.
have been at the Seventh-day Adventist that they have a gym that probably could accommodate a PAL. I mean, you know, until we do get some sort of Boys and Girls
Community
Club,
center? Yes, that's
community
what we need.
center. Yeah,
Mhm.
we need to do the PAL. I'll tell you, it was great to get teens off the streets.
Yeah,
And
it really is.
yeah, and it's just so important.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is good. So all topics that anytime you have information when we have our next education committee, you know, if there's any information that's found, like Chun and Diana, please jump in and just let us know the update, or you know, tell Jeremy to blast it out to the public, because everybody needs to know these things need to be worked on. I mean,
Mhm.
we have Little League fields.
No, I totally
That-
agree.
That reminds me, yeah, that, you know, we've been talking about how we want a community center or a Y or something like that. And I talked with Kevin Riley about how they got the Y, you know, up near Gun Hill Road.
Yeah, I know about that.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful. I've been there.
he said it took years. And he
Years.
said that
It
they
took 5
formed,
years.
the first thing they did was they formed like a neighborhood task force
Mhm.
that a lot of people were on. And he said that the Y was not in it from the beginning, that they did an actual RFP process,
Okay.
and the Y was one of the applicants. And then that was the bid that they accepted. But he also said it was really key to have a location,
Yes.
that it was
We
hard to get much
have
done.
locations that we can use.
And
Uh-huh.
they're being scooped up very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta grab them.
They are,
We have one left. That's it.
Mhm.
That I know of.
right.
I should just
Did
say
we-
that I know of.
Did we figure
And
out
it's-
what was being built in that across the street from Bronx Park East? Like, is it a laundromat or something? I think it's where the old pool hall was.
Oh,
what
that,
it is
that's
now.
supposed to be, that's where the 2028 is.
No.
Right, part of it is a school, the pool hall is gonna be a school, I think.
Yes, it's
Unless
supposed to be a
maybe
3K.
Mayor Adams changes his mind and doesn't do the pre-K after all.
Yeah, yes.
But then the other building, the one that the laundromat is in, I don't know what's happening with it. And I realized that you can't see the permits because
and
they're
we're
behind
supposed
the
to.
gates that are pulled down all the time.
They're supposed to be visible on the sidewalk. On
Yeah.
the sidewalk.
Well, they're
Um,
visible when the gates are raised.
So yeah, and the gates don't have all see-through where
Right.
whatever. But I did have one of the I had one of the residents on Unionport Road right there actually go across the street and speak to one of the men saying, "What's being built here?" And they said a restaurant. But there needs to be follow-up,
Yeah.
because well, what kind of restaurant, what's the time frame, etc.
Right.
That I do not know.
Yeah, I'll bring it up to the housing committee. See what.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that address is 2028 White Plains Road, and the pool hall, I think, is 2021 with the pre-K. The 3K was supposed to be renting space. I don't know if they rented. I don't know if they signed the lease
They're
when,
still doing the interior renovations.
but did they
They are
sign the
working.
lease? That's the whole
Oh,
point.
I don't
When
know.
when the 2028 all that was going on, because of that, they still it was not signed. So that kind of follow up,
Great.
that answer I don't have. So yeah, I guess housing, that would be great to put it on the housing committee just to try to follow up with that.
Keep an eye on things.
Yes, I know there's also that other property that I have brought up to also Edith, the one that's on the corner of White Plains Road, right next to where Planet Fitness is.
Mhm.
Because I think Edith knows the owner. So I have brought it to her, Edith Blitzer. That used to be on the community board. Chun, you don't know her. I don't think you know her. Malcolm, I don't think you know her either, but she was on the community board. She was the president of the Pelham Parkway Neighborhood Association. She's lived in Pelham Parkway for a long time. And I brought that to her attention, so I have not followed up with her to see if there's been any activity. The best place to do that is to really check out the permits and activities to see what's
Hey,
going on.
Bernadette.
Hi, Yahe. How are
Hey,
you?
I'm okay. So, you heard about the building that's being built on where that supermarket is, Barnes, Boston Road, Allerton intersection. It's 330 units. So maybe we can negotiate something like
space
a
in there?
community center. Yeah. So that's one. The second thing is where they're building on Bronxdale, where the gym used to be.
Yes, that's
What's
my
it? I
location.
forgot
That's
the
the
name of the
location I
city.
thought of.
Mm-hmm.
They're building like a housing complex. It's going to be like a city within a city. You know, they bought that lot for $80 million, the developers. So who buys a lot for $80 million in the Bronx? I have no idea, but they're planning on
Wow.
building a city within a city. So they're building something that big. They
Where
might
is
as well
this
put a community
location?
center.
Yahe, where is this location? I'm sorry, I didn't get the location.
It's near, you know where Con Edison is, their storage facility. It's not too far. Bronxdale. You remember where the
New York
what's
Sports,
it
New
called?
York
New York Sports
Athletic
Club.
Club?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, New York Sports
I
Club.
know
Where
where
New
that
York
is.
Sports Club used to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
so wait. You're talking about the New York Sports. That was the only location that's left.
Well, no,
No,
not
not
according
anymore.
to Yahe.
It was sold for $80 million a couple of years ago, and they're planning on building housing complex that's going to stretch out from Bronxdale all the way to East Tremont. It's going to be a huge triangle of housing.
So are they taking down right on East Tremont and Bronxdale, across from the Sunoco, you have the auto body shop right there, Raja, and I know the owners. How is that going to impact? Are they buying out? Are they buying everything out on East Tremont Avenue also?
Yes, that's why I think it was $80 million. That was like the entire deal. Jeremy sent us an email about this maybe 5 years ago.
Oh, I was just talking to the owners of the Auto Body Club yesterday. I will ask if I don't know if they've been approached.
I don't know.
One more piece of information from Kevin Riley was that he thought that even though they had not started with the Y, that since the Y has completed that project, that we could reach out to them at an early stage and get them involved and
And
see if
help.
they had any ideas or had their eye on any spot.
I think that's
Well,
a good idea.
Yeah. Well, it's something that we have to remember that we have three communities that are in need. So the locations have to be
That's about us.
where Pelham Parkway could use it, Van Nest and Morris Park. These are the three communities that are without. So, and I, they would have to to know that that areas of location or why we would even be wanting to have a Boys and Girls Club.
Is it possible for this committee and the House committee to collaborate on that and to figure out?
Oh, of course. Well, of course it is. Anything's possible if we want it. So, joining forces with that, we can, if we get enough information and then get some key people as guest speakers, that we can have a full discussion. I think that would be extremely beneficial. So, if Councilman Riley can connect with a few people, that would be beneficial to actually talk at we could have a joint housing education meeting to start to set something in motion.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm really tired. I'm tired of talking about it. I think if we need to do something, we need to set some wheels in motion. So,
Bernadette, I've been to the Y with Councilman Riley, so I'll reach out to him. The place is absolutely beautiful.
I heard it was beautiful. I was
It's
at
beautiful.
Mayor de Blasio's town hall. I think maybe 2 or 3 of them. And I basically, when they my whole thing was writing down, how did this Y get in Gun Hill Road, and the communities that are in need were not even considered? How did that happen? And I
Yeah.
never got anything from I mean, I verbally stood up and asked my question. And then I got, well, it was in process for 5 years. I said, that's great. Was it only because that it was close to the NYCHA buildings, the NYCHA housing? No, it wasn't, but I'm sure that had a lot to do with money. And then,
No, Carl Heastie got a lot of money for it.
well, you know what? Our
put a lot of
communities
money
are
in,
just
yeah.
important. Our
Yeah.
children are just important. And you know what? Do we have to reach the Speaker of the House? What do we have to do? Do we have to send letters? Or do we have to say, do you have to come to our meeting? Or do we have a roundtable?
Yeah,
Well,
we should
this is
definitely get people who have their hands on purse strings to join join with us.
Yeah, that's the thing. We
Kenny
need the money.
Augusto said that it was in the works even when he was working with Ruth Hassel Thompson, so that it predated
Oh,
Jamal
yes.
Bailey. That it took a long time to.
Well, you know what? If it could be done there, they actually have a process that all I had been asking for over the past maybe few years is, what is the process for us to start? I've asked elected officials, can you initiate, etc. And this is important that because they're closer to the other elected officials, whether it be in the city council, whether it be state legislatures, etc. So, but nobody's actually picked up the baton.
Yeah.
So this is where we could be very effective.
We got to pick it up.
Yeah. So, and I think we've all
it.
barked loud enough.
Yes.
So, okay, so let me just write things down as far as to follow up with.
I just have to leave, but thank you guys so much for
Thank
everything.
you for bringing all this
Yeah.
information, Diana. I
Thanks.
appreciate, we all appreciate it.
Okay.
And whatever you follow up with, please bring.
Oh,
back.
definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Good night, Diana.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.
So as members of,
I leave.
as
Can't
members,
figure out how to leave.
oh, I think you
click
have
the
to
X.
leave the meeting. That's all.
Yeah,
There's
you
a
click the
little
X.
red thing.
Yeah. But well,
The little red thing on the bottom, the
I
little
know
red
nothing's
circle.
happening. I'm clicking it and nothing's happening.
Oh, see, no, there she goes.
There you
Okay.
go.
I was gonna say she's stuck.
Because it takes a while for some browsers, like mine was in just like, atrophy trying to get on, and it goes through the power surges. But anyway, so we've got an opportunity to, we could also call a roundtable meeting, with housing, with our education, culture, and youth services, with the public and gallery, and with, I guess whatever the most important people that we feel that would be have done this before.
Mhm.
Of course, the mayor's office needs to be a part of it. And get people, not just
Hey,
us
Bernadette,
talking.
so I'm thinking something that you can probably do, it can start from your committee, is to make a request uh, from the city elected officials and CC the state elected officials and the Congress members, vote on the letter here. I don't know if you have enough, if you have a quorum.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so request a community center for Community Board 11, an official request, call for a motion, and CC all the elected officials, have Jeremy draft a letter and CC all of them. So it's official, on October 6th,
Okay,
we made an official request and we'll vote on it on the full board. And if it passes the full board, Community Board 11 officially made a request for a community center to be opened up or built in Community Board 11. If we just continue to try to meet, do roundtables and pull people in individually, this is something official. This is something on paper, an official request. That's my my recommendation.
no, that I think
A good recommendation.
that's a good recommendation. So Jeremy will draft the official letter, or are we? Or we can, what we could do here is that we can vote on it.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
vote on it.
So-
We'll vote on it on the full board, and Jeremy will draft a letter, send it to you. Just work on the basic language now during your motion. So you can say a call for a motion to send a letter to all the elected officials within Community Board 11 to request a community center be opened up or built for the youth in our community, and get a second and vote on it with your committee.
All right, so officially, I'd like to call a motion, for, see, that's just it. It rolls off of your tongue, Yahe, and then I want to call a motion for the Education, Culture, and Youth Services Committee to draft a letter to give to the elected officials, officially coming through the community board, and to be voted on at the full board meeting. So anyone,
Second.
you're seconding it? All in favor?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay, great. Okay, so motion carries. Any call for discussion? No? Okay, so that will be a motion that will be brought at the full board meeting, and that will be has to be in our minutes. Okay, Phyllis, are you going to be doing the minutes since
I'm
you?
doing the minutes. Yes, I'm good.
Oh, okay, thank you. I should have asked you beforehand. So how does that sound, Yahe? Sounds good? He's up there.
Sounds good, and we'll review it again at the full board, and we'll have another discussion there. We might have a thorough discussion. Some folks might want it in their area more than one area. What we need is one to get started in Community Board 11. I don't care where it is at this point.
Well, we do have to, I mean, the location can't be on the outskirts of Community Board 11, like by Gun Hill Road, because then it will not service Van Ness, Morris Park, and Pelham Parkway. So
Yeah, you can request a central location. Like for me,
Central
I
location.
always see the Bronx house as like a central location,
Yeah, that's something, that people
And-
could walk to.
Yeah.
I've
And the
walked
city
there
elected
myself.
officials, if they want to do the right thing, because we talked about how much it is, it's like 3,000 a student, right, for the Bronx house. If the elected officials wanted to do the same thing, they'll put aside a few $1 million and talk to the Bronx house to open it up on, let's say, on Thursday nights, open to the public.
Public.
They can fund that. The Bronx house wouldn't probably be opposed to that. Thursday nights would be public night, community center for the entire community. Just money. We have the community center. It's just money at this point.
Right.
There's also the gym at Jacoby that we really should think about.
That's not a bad idea, actually. And it's a good location.
It's a good location, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people, a lot of families that are, of course, I know, I'm always thinking of Van Ness, that are like the farthest away. They'll have to just get on a bus and go somewhere and get there.
So will the people from
Pelham
Pelham
Parkway.
Gardens or from
Yes.
Allerton. Yeah,
Yes.
so everybody would have to get on a bus to get there, basically.
But yeah, actually to get something started would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a gym that already exists.
Yes, yes, it does. It does. And it's one that many people don't go to, like we have said over and over, because many people can't afford it.
Well, it's not, no, Jacoby isn't open.
Oh, I'm not talking about Jacoby. I was talking about, sorry, Bronx House.
Oh, Bronx House, yeah. But Jacoby, we could have our own community center there in the gym that already exists.
Okay.
That's sitting there unused.
There we have it. Okay, so this is how we get things started. So the motion was brought to the Education Committee. It was second, it was voted on unanimously, and we will bring the motion to the full board meeting and have it voted on and Yahe, I have a question. Are you there? No.
Yeah, I'm here. Just the mute button is like a mile away.
So, when does the motion have to be voted on the full board meeting, or do we
Yeah.
have to wait for a letter?
No, once it goes through the full board meeting, then Jeremy will draft the letter or send a letter at that point.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. This is something that is worth the time and the effort. So anything else that our board members that basically bring to the table, feel free to jump in. And any information, Malcolm, if you find something, if you and say the same thing, please bring it to the table.
I will.
So I think at this point, is there anything else that is up for discussion? No? Okay, well, I'm glad we actually had this time to talk about the community center and to have input from the public. So I will say right now that I have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so it is now 8:18. That's what I have.
Okay, 8:8. Okay, everybody. Good
Okay.
night.
All right,
Hope to
good
see you
night.
all Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, bring out the family, friends, drag them in there to march, and even if they don't, if they're not with anybody, just tell them to march, to jump in and march with somebody. Good to be on the outside cheering and great to be on the inside. So you could do a little bit of both, and then make sure you get to Conti's, because I'm sure he's gonna have some great cannolis.
Absolutely.
Yes. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think I looked at the forecast, there's sunshine.
It's going to be beautiful.
Perfect.
Beautiful day.
Woo!
Perfect day.
Love
Looking
it,
forward
love
to
it,
it.
love it. Yes. All
Good
right.
night,
so-
everybody.
Good night.
yes, good night, everybody. Thank you all for your input, and let's just all pray whatever we do so that we start moving on the things that are important.
That's
So-
very exciting. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night. Bye.
Good night.